touring cross country for seminars, right? And Greg helped get Jerson and Nene Tortal over here, and they were doing like a tour, right? And so I was freshly starting the Kali program at my karate school, and I knew the seminar was happening. I'm like, well, cool. So I asked my parents, they paid for it, and then there's Greg, kind of standing around, in the lobby, just very nice guy, and I kind of walked by like, God, he looks familiar because I know I saw him from some of the tapes I had, So we're in karate class. I'm standing like this, we're all waiting, and they said, how about Master Greg? You give a demo. I said, sure. So he walks out there. He's like, how's it going, guys? Cool. Gonna give a demo? Sure. He just breaks out in his salai. He starts moving all the way that he moves. He's rolling around, power. Yeah. And I'm like I've never seen anything like it, right? I've never seen anything like it. And then he kind of stops, like, yeah. And then he just stops casually, he's talking, let's go, you want a stick, Greg? Yeah, sure. So he grabs a stick, and he just starts moving the way that he moves, right? Right, he just starts moving that way. And what the heck is this? I mean, I've never seen anything like it, and the power that he had.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, okay, guys, thanks. Just walked up the floor. Because they just asked him to do a demo, right?
Right.
So it's kind of funny, ironically, at that seminar, I got to work with Greg first, and I worked with Grandmaster Nene Tortal, who complimented my parents to me as well, walking to my parents.
Right.
Or complimented me to my parents.
Yeah.
So,
so they were both there.
They were both there.
Oh my God.
That's when I first met Greg, and
and you're saying that's Leo's uncle?
Yes, that's Leo's uncle.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you just got
Dropped right into it, and didn't even know what I was looking at, really.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But you felt it.
I felt it. Didn't understand it, but I wanted to.
Right.
So, and once again, at the time, Greg was living in Virginia Beach. I was in Missouri, but Greg came out for seminars at the time. So once I was kind of getting good.
Was this the kind of program that you're thinking about running? Like he had one of those at your school, like
when
they got his curriculum?
Not really. So what happened is the karate teacher, the owner of that school who taught karate as well, was just a student of Greg's, and just had a program. So Greg never really had like a set thing.
Yeah.
Like we talked about before.
Right.
It's like you learn from me. I just want you to go and share it. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So that was his mentality with it, right?
Right.
But Greg came out for seminars at the time, so I met him a lot.
Right.
And finally they saw that this kid Mike is serious. He's here. I was there every night, every single night I was there to train. And so the karate teacher at the time was talking to Greg about me. He said, hey, I'm going to bring him out for one of our training camps.
Yeah.
I want you to maybe think about certifying him. So flew out to Virginia Beach, 8 hours a day, 5 days to train.
Wow.
So, and that's when Greg really got to kind of know me.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I was the kid. These are all military, ex-military, law enforcement, grown men. And here's skinny old 16-year-old me there. But I mean, I was
ready to scrap.
Yeah. I was enthralled, man. I was in it. And Greg saw that I had that natural ability with it. So before I left, what happens is you go there, he sees how well you pick it up, and then usually he gives you what he would call an instructor candidate certificate. Meaning, technically, you're not a teacher unless you have students. Well, I can't call you a teacher, but this means you can. So once you get students and you let me know, I will make you a guru certification.
Right.
So the second day before we were gone, he said, Mike, I can't let you leave here with just that. He said, you're too good. So he made me an assistant guru certificate as assistant to my guru. So he made me that. And so there was kind of a relationship there. He knew about me,
Right.
It was never like everyday training, but
Yeah.
he came out, I don't know, maybe 3 times a year for seminars.
Yeah.
And he always remembered me,
Right.
And it was kind of funny because he was a little older, so there was a bit of a kind of a grandfather relationship. Because I was the young guy, and so he would always make a point. For me, I realized that he'd be talking, and he kind of turned to me, and kind of make it connect to life.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The goal is always peace. No matter what happens. Sometimes if somebody's arguing with you, the best thing you can do is say, you know what, you're right. Well, first of all, people don't know how to handle it, but you want to resolve, right?
Right.
Always go for abundance. Always go for positivity, because that's what matters. The rest doesn't matter. It just kills life. And so he would always make those points to me. So there was a relationship there. For a long time, we didn't see each other. And then when he moved to Florida, I'm in my 20s now. I went to see him again, and we turned out in the Florida sun, man. He was late 60s, and God, he beat my ass. But he saw that I was getting there, and he saw that I was getting good, you know. And then so he's like, yeah, I talk about you to people, you know. And finally, I think what really was the moment, I would say, is I went down there in would have been fall of 2012. Greg just turned 70. I went down there. He just kind of put a stick in my hand. We're in an empty school, and he said, "Well, let's see what you have now." And we moved around, and that's when he knew. That's when he knew I had it.
Right.
So, and yeah.
In an empty school.
Yep. And we did the polyclete I talked about.
Yeah.
So we flowed, which turns into sparring, right? Because the drill dissolves.
Right.
We moved around for 6 hours that day. Just played around for 6 hours. We did it for a full week, which I don't think he was planning to, but he had too much fun. he was having too much fun. But he said, "Mike, there's nothing more I can show you, man. There's nothing more I can show you. You have it." And he said, "I want you to get out there and show it." So at that time too, when the dementia was just starting to happen. You know, physically fit. So I mean, who else? What other 70-year-old man you know can stick spar with no pads for 6 hours a day? Only one I know of. You know. Of course, there could be others, but it's
Yes,
just
they're in the
amazing.
Philippines.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a moment. So it was starting to get a little bit worse, and then when he would go to Brazil, the Brazil guys were saying the same thing. He's getting more cloudy, and he did have a student in Miami.
Wally.
Cloudy. Sorry,
Cloudy.
cloudy. He was kind of memory. Short-term memory was kind of not there. Kind of forget what he was doing.
Yeah.
It just kind of slowly.
Yeah.
And then his contacts in Florida were kind of saying the same thing. We have a guy in Miami, Guru Randy, and I don't know what if he still teaches, as a matter of fact. But same thing. He said, yeah, he's forgetting more things. Like he came to fly out to Brazil one time and had the wrong month.
Right.
So and just little by little, it was kind of getting there, and I kept hearing more about it. So finally, at one point, Dennis and I went down there together, which is a great time.
Yeah.
The three of us got to be together. And same thing, Greg was fit, man, could physically move.
Right.
But he I think with Alzheimer's, there's good moments and bad moments, right?
Right.
There's moments he can look at you and knows he knows you but can't place it.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, hey Nate, what's up, man? Like it kind of goes. I guess that's what it does. I don't know much about it. So we were there, and he said, "You and Dennis are my best." And that time too, when we were working together as well, I kind of felt, even though Dennis was announced earlier as I want Dennis to keep what Senator Shawali is going. So he was announced many years ago, but I felt there too, with Greg and I talking, he saw I was a part of that too.
Yeah.
You are the young blood.
Right.
Because I was in my 20s, Dennis at the time was early 40s.
Yeah.
Greg's 70.
Right.
And 70, so you're the young blood, man. You're the next line.
Right.
So get it out there.
Yeah.
So yeah. Absolutely.
Dude, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.